I must say I'm happy once again to be here and to share the little that I have with my sisters. And what I want to focus on is the family unit, because those who are trafficked are our own sons, are our own daughters. I'll just speak. I'm going to do it. Okay, yes. Now, when it comes to Kenya, as a country, we have already embraced the legal frameworks internationally, regionally, and nationally on human trafficking or human dignity or human rights. And of importance to us, we have a prescription in the Constitution. We have Article 10, it is stated explicitly that these are our national values, and they are binding on all state organs, state officers, public officers, and all persons whenever any of them applies or interprets the Constitution, enacts or applies the law, or makes or implements the law. The national values are stated as patriotism, national unity, sharing and devolution of power, the rule of law, human dignity, equity, social justice, and the aim of these national values is to turn Kenya into a just society. If that ideal is achieved, then there is no way the vice can thrive, the vice of human trafficking. And it needs the efforts of everyone. If all of us are to embrace those values, then we shall say bye to the vice. It was in light of its national commitment to the above national values that the legislation was put in place, and I have a sister who is going to talk about the legal frameworks. I will skip them. I will not go through them. I will leave them out. So from all the above, the definitions in our legal framework, the definition on human trafficking, there is no doubt that the vice is an affront to the sanctity of human life from conception up to natural death, and the inalienable dignity of each and every human being. This should be the starting point for each entity involved in the fight against this vice of human trafficking, with the sole aim being to join forces to restore human dignity to the human person. The Bible teaches us that man is, and by man includes woman, is created in the image of God, which in essence is the foundation of the inherent dignity of every person created by God. In light of the above, and since those trafficked men and women are our own sons and daughters, as I've already mentioned, the key question we should ask ourselves is, where did we go wrong? As individuals, families, national, and now the international community. Here below are my own reflections on how I personally feel we went wrong as a family. Now, in the family unit, in the traditional setup, a child belonged to the community besides the parents. The community took responsibility over the child, and they protected. And that is how I, as a child who was born to my community, and that is how I was shielded and protected. And now I have an opportunity to speak at this conference. So the key focus in every institution, and especially in Kenya, should be the family unit. Any policy put in place should be the one that aims at consolidating the family unit. and the breakdown in social values. As culture, we protected widows, we protected orphans, we protected children, but in the course of duty, we come across instances whereby instead of consolidating efforts to protect widows, they are harassed and they are robbed of their inheritance, inclusive of the children. And if a widow has nothing on which to feed her children, then there is no way the children can be consolidated. We also have issues of poverty, issues of unemployment, the issue of orphaned children, the issue of children with physical disability. I have a sister who will address that. Unequal treatment of children, where boys were preferred, although that is now being addressed through local legislations. And other causes are the government, whereby we have the constitution in place, we have the legislation in place, but then you find instances when the government has not come up with really infrastructure to address those issues. And also the legal issues, like where you have the legislation, but you know the means of making those legislations meaningful to the community are lacking. It's because as judicial officers, without cases being properly investigated and being properly tooled, you cannot render justice. Social and economic issues, whereby we have the resources of the nation are not shared out equally, and that is why you end up with some areas being marginalized while others are not. I think due to time, I've had just to rush through. So my own view is that if we address the issue of the family unit, consolidate it to what it used to be, capacitate it to be able to fend for their children, assist them to grow up and capacitate them, they will not be trafficked. Thank you.